Oh. The Forest of Death. The Forest of Death is a vast area of dense ancient woodlands on the south of Obsidonia Castle. Vampires, werewolves, and the formidable undead swarm this land, which borders the Federation. The destiny that links the two is one of the Federation dares not disturb. Not just the citizens of the Federation, but even the emperors of yore, despite their plans of expansion, decreed the land unable to be invaded. To this day, no adequate map exists of the land. Deep in the woods, it is said that there is a mansion inhabited by a vampire by the name of Rothart, who is also said to be the ruler of the undead. The undead, defying the providence of life itself, have been kept at bay in this land, unable to attain world domination. As to what their motives or connections with the Empire are, no one has the faintest clue. The reason for this is simple: not one living person has ever returned alive upon disturbing their peace. Oh. Well. It's really loud though, so I'm just gonna lower it from my side. Alright. Unfortunately, I found out that apparently my desktop audio also affects the recording, so I really have to maintain it in this volume, so yeah. Oh, goodness, I'm so bored. Rothart sighs as he looks out the crack between the thick curtains, gazing at the heavy rain clouds above. Lord Rothart, tonight is a cloudy full moon. Does it displease you? Ugh. Gordov, mastermind of the coup d'etat, which swept the Empire of Obsidonia, sits with a soldier he brought along. The soldier has his hands tied behind his back with chains, which clatter with every shiver. Moonlight, sunrise, both are poison to my old body. Oh, how I miss the aurora of the dark clouds of dusk. The smooth age of destruction is foregone, just I had hoped my rest would come. That phrase, I could use it in a new song. As Rothart pulls out a blank music sheet, he tilts his head and elegantly jots down his inspiration. He's paying no attention to Gordov, almost as if he weren't there at all as his guest. Don't you forget the deal we made. Yes, I know. I've already assigned my servants to do the deed. With the young ones being a tad rough, I cannot guarantee capturing that feeble emperor alive. What? The deal to this exchange was that you'd capture him alive. Excuse me, you dare order me around. Well, Rothart furrows his brow as he glares at Gordov with his red eyes. The table glass trembles from the waves of magic which attracts dark spirits to stir. It is more than clear who has the advantage here. Well, I won't mind if he lost an arm or a leg. All I need is to control him with my smoke and make him spill the secrets about the lair. Just do what you can. It's not the night that bores me though. It's you, Gordov. Leave it till you have nothing more to say. Heh, my apologies. Well then, let me leave this compensation here. Please stop. I'll do anything, Lord Gordov. The wine glass atop the table topples over right as the Imperial soldier squirms and pleads for his life. Oh, you are to behave yourself. Compared to Helion, your treatment will be far better. The armed forces of armband on the Imperial soldier belong to Helion's private brigade. A survivor of the expedition to Dragon King Isle, the man has been traded off a mere snack for the undead. No! Please forgive me! Just please don't turn me into an undead! The soldiers of Obsidonia nowadays have no guts. Do they even train you properly? I miss the men from before. All of them would go so far to show their determination to snap my very neck. Rogaru, where are you? Rogaru! I'm right there. I'm right here, Jeezer. Smashing a window on the upper floor, a young gladiator-like man come crashing in. Seeing the frightened soldiers, he smirks and shows off his fangs. He gives off a magical, unhuman aura. Ah, you've broken another window. What a troublesome son to have. Hey, considering how the ghosts feel while they fix up your mess. Shut up, Jeezer. I'm no son of yours. Jeez, there's an obscenity. Use proper language, shall we? You're so annoying, Jeezer. Goodness. Very well. This is a present from our guest. It's not to my liking, so do as you see fit. No! Don't eat me! This is a live person! Be sure to give your thanks before eating him. When and how I eat is up to me, Jeezer. Are you not gonna dine on it? I sadly have no appetite for such a feeble soldier. How about I send a letter to Dine for a duel? I'm at a loss of what the header should read. Was your guess that Jeezer that reeks of cigars? Precisely. The smell of the resin gave me a headache. Where is that tonic? Since the dark clouds of dusk have disappeared, I've sensed the long-awaited awakening of gluttony. Though I don't believe gluttony would ever be linked with such a man. Anyhow, he will serve as much-needed entertainment. Asking that we lend forces, then demanding bring me the Emperor. The thoughts in that mind of those whose lives are so ephemeral is beyond me. No man shall arrive at gluttony while clinging to worthless glory. I see no such hunger or thirst to consume everything in gourd of whatsoever. Damn it, I don't get it. It's all stupid to me. Regaro, have you sent your servants to where the Emperor is? Huh? He should be traveling by road from the Federation. How straightforward and candid of him. You're kidding! You're not telling me you haven't noticed, are you? Allow me to once more familiarize you with the scent you are about to be hunting. Rothart passes over a handkerchief embroidered in gold, a clue provided by Gordov which holds the scent. From the Federation? Wonder if Basker's with them. What, is he your friend? The world is friend. The word, I mean, is friend. Or perhaps is he a love interest? How splendid. Next time, please be sure to introduce him to me. That will never happen. Despite having spouted such foul language without rest, Rogar shuts up instantly and blushes. Rothard is more than aware of the handful of words that has inevitably caused Rogaru to stutter. Well, it's uncertain whether that kid is among them. However, I'm personally certain that he must be beside the powerful source of magic. I sense the Dragon King, Dine, and something else all together. This is the sort of price that entices my appetite. All of them looks absolutely scrumptious. Not a one will be spared by me. Hey, that's my prey. I'm gonna find them first, so don't you be getting in my way. Ugh! Once he eludes both their gazes, the Imperial soldier makes a mad dash to an almost certain death. All down his shoulders and spine, he senses the faint glares of the evil spirits and zombies butlers upon him. I just gotta make it outside! Outside! The Imperial soldier's entangled legs and the cascade of sweat down his body don't hold him back from putting all his might into breaking open the front door. Ooh! Meat! There's meat! Yet instead of freedom, from behind the busted door, an avalanche of giant beasts rushes into the room. Every last one of them is a werewolf that had been transformed by Rogaru, the werewolf's infectious bite. Moreover, tonight's a full moon. Look at all my starving pups! So sorry, every bit of him's gonna be my dinner. Woo! Rogaru, no fair. Don't take it from us. Rogaru flings off every werewolf swarming around the Imperial soldier's flesh with brute strength, stripping the soldier off his armor in the process. Rather than there being any indication as to who was master and servant, all there was a beastly scuffle. Shut up, stupid mutts! No touch! Ugh, why are my servants this stupid? A servant ought not bear intelligence greater than his master. That's why you need to keep studying. Huh, no response. Shut up, Jeezer! This is called Night of Justice. Stop right there! Huh. Despite the very recent coup d'etat, soldiers are still stationed at the border fortress. I am Abbot Gymnos of the Order of Glory from the Empire of Obsidonia. I wish to return to the capital. Gymnos hands over his papers from the Order of Glory. They were left behind by a now departed abbot in case of an emergency. You were visiting the Federation wing of the Order. You're not a smuggler, are you? The Imperial soldier glances over at the band of wagons behind Gymnos suspiciously. With that number of wagons, it almost seems as if it were a caravan. It's more or less known to the public, but we are also responsible for procuring supplies. With all the chaos ensuing in the capital, the aristocrats have used up their hidden reserves. Gymnos had already prepared an excuse blended with the partial truths. Without such strong nerves, it would have been impossible for him to survive the castle of Pandemonium. You must have it hard as well. Please take this as a token of my gratitude. Gymnos offered a small patch to the soldier, discreetly, of course. The blatant display of handing over a bribe before the very eyes of the Emperor exemplifies the Empire's corruption, and for that Gymnos did feel shame. However, this was the surefire way of getting in. No. Let me inspect the cargo in all your wagon. Huh. Are you going to refuse? That'll land you in prison. This is an order from Admiral Gordov. Just as I thought, Admiral Gordov had been waiting. Also, with a scent as strong as this, there's no way no one is in there. The soldier gets closer to one of the covered wagons. A tail can be seen sticking out of the soldier's armor. He must be a beast owner with a sensitive sense of smell. Wait! Now having no choice but to make the tough call, Gymnos grabs his bell meant to alert the gang, but at that very moment... Gahahaha! Humans! I smell humans! Oh no! Evil spirits and werewolves! Look at this! Who the hell would want to guard here of all places? You just end up being gobbled up by those monsters. I know you're harboring people there. I will have you indicted for your crime and returned to the capital. I'm the one who will be returning home there. Everyone, abandon the wagons! Attack! The covered wagon about to be inspected was the very one Dine had been hiding in with bated breath. Huh? Emperor Kafka, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. It can't be! The true Emperor! He lives! It seems that the horse keepers have already escaped. Let's allow those troops to withdraw to the Federation. The situation there ought to be better than here. What are you waiting for? Look how many there are! Go while I bring them over to me! But Dine, that means you'll... Fear not, I too am undead. I'm used to fighting them. Who would have known that I would give aid to Obsidonia, the empire that destroyed my motherland? Yet I choose to live and fight against evil for justice since yesterday. Ha ha ha! Dine's right. Let's break through them, everyone! The Netherman you tame is turning out to be useful right from the start. What have we said about calling him Netherman? This chapter is called Full Moon Revelry. Full Moon Revelry. Yeah. Take that! Blazing along a pathless trail, the gang uses light magic to fend off evil spirits and zombies blocking the way. Gymnos, are you certain we're heading in the right direction? Yes. Look at the trees. All we have to do is follow the trees marked with red cloth. Gymnos illuminates the area with light magic. Just as he said, there are trees with battered pieces of red cloth wrapped around their trunks. These must have been placed here by a past pioneer. I use these markings to travel through the Federation, since there is no reliable map of the Forest of Death. Is it just me, or have werewolves been following us this entire time? Don't run, Prey. I'll get you before Rogaru does. Eek! I can't do this! I can't! Ooh! A blast of wind sends a werewolf flying along with chunks of rotten earth. The yokai in this empire are pretty troublesome, huh? Don't stop! They're getting closer! Let's finish off the werewolves here. If we run out of stamina now, we'll just become prey for the undead instead. But there's tons of them! I won't have enough arrows to shoot them at all! Doesn't matter. Turn back and hold your ground. Jackpot. So that's him. From the shadows of the towering trees, Rugar had been precisely tracking his prey with both his eyes and nose. I definitely sensed someone else and with even tastier magic. Who should I eat first? So small, and that tender-looking meat. Yummy! Emperor Kafka, behind you! Oh no! Stupid mutt, don't you dare lay a paw on my prey! Yo, Rigaru! Ouch! You're damn I'm hurting you! None of you listen to a single thing I say! Rigaru knocks down his servant werewolves in one blow, swiftly capturing Kafka without a moment's delay. Those demonic arms and that white fur! It's Werewolf Rigaru! That's right! Come on! Be scared of me! I thought you were just a legend of the past! Don't be moving on me now, or do you want to turn into another one of my stupid mutts? Rigaru's sharp claws gently brush Kafka's thin neck. If legend is correct, Rigaru possesses the demonic power of robbing an able-bodied person of his intellect and transforming him into one of his lowly servants. Let's see. I'll be getting hella money once I hand you over to that smoky geezer. Then I can say good riddance to this awful place. There's only one person that comes to mind in Obsidonia who's known for being the wielder of smoke. You're in cahoots with Admiral Gordov? How is he currying the favor with the undead in the Forest of Death? Quit your belly aching already. I'm not gonna tell you. Rigaru ruthlessly jabs Kafka in the pit of his stomach, instantly causing him to lose consciousness and collapse. Kafka! You bastard! I'll be sure to torment you all nice and slowly next. Until then, at least have some fun playing with my stupid mutts. Kafka! Wait, Rigaru! It's no good. We're already surrounded by his servant werewolves. Rigaru ran off in a direction without any tree markers. It's too dangerous to pursue him. But if we don't, Kafka will get... let's stay calm for now. It's clear that we must prioritize Emperor Kafka's safety above all else now. For that very reason, we must first prepare ourselves. The enemy's coming. Get ready, everyone! What happens if we choose? Pursue anyway. I know it's too dangerous, but... I'll figure something out. I'm going after Rigaru. Please wait! There are far too many enemies! The same scenery extends every which direction. It is no easy task for an outsider to pursue a werewolf in such a sea of trees as this. It's a full moon! No sooner than he starts to cool off from being so worked up, Kun feels helpless as he wanders along in the forest. Looking up at the sky, the mist and rain clouds dissipate, revealing a dazzling cold and full moon. Huh! Heck yeah! Found him! Damn, you smell so fine! Shah! Kuna stumbled across werewolves, all of whom are licking their lips and slobbering out of sheer hunger. I gotta turn back! Kun knows full well that they would instantly catch up to him if he ran off with his back turned towards them. All that can be done now is to avoid direct eye contact and walk backwards as slowly as possible. At that moment, something bumps into Kun's back, and it wasn't one of the giant trees either. He can feel soft fur touching his skin and hot breath hitting the napes of his neck along with the sensation of muscles grating against his back. Thick saliva then falls onto his face, sticking to his bangs. There's no doubt in his mind as to what is behind him. Woo! You poor thing must be so lonely. Yikes! Kun tries dashing away like a rabbit, but anything he does now to escape will be futile. The insane force of the werewolf's giant hands is placed on Kun's body, making it impossible for him to be let loose. These werewolves have all been attracted to Kun by his dragon musk. Any and all escape routes are now entirely cut off. The moment he dares to struggle would be the moment his flesh and bones become shredded into pieces by their sharp claws and powerful arms. Intoxicating manly musk invades Kun's nostrils, which is all the material needed to stimulate his dragon drive to breed. Ow! That's hot! Out of nowhere, a burst of flames rains down. Werewolves are weak to fire magic. Scatter, you damn mutts! Ugh, I was wondering where the hell you went off to. Your kiss tastes like those damn wolves. Despite the foul language, Barboros does in fact remove the bodily fluids off Kun's face with his cloak. Presumably fed up with Kun, Barboros chunks Kun's armament that had been discarded everywhere back at him. You sure like to show off despite being such a useless fighter. Sorry. I have a hunch as to where that one werewolf went. Let's go. Okay. This is called Transcenders of Eternity. Emperor Kafka is still within range of my tracking magic. Let's keep following after them. With this horrible graveyard stench, how are we going to be able to find our way back? The mucky smell of the forest of death beclouds the mind amidst a sea of endless trees. The red cloth markers have long disappeared from sight, leaving them no choice but to pursue other markers that might possibly indicate where Kafka had been taken. Hey, look! There's a building! Elaine is pointing directly at a gigantic yet old-fashioned manor coming into view beyond the haze. Striking red roses abound every which way far as the eyes can see. The gang finds itself aghast at their unnatural beauty as chills run down their spines. Vampire Rotart's dwelling, though not the one you're hoping to find. Paul, do you know anything about this place? This is a magical den for the undead. The werewolf who had abducted Intellect is likely inside there. I take it Intellect refers to Kafka. How come you don't call people by their proper names? Because I have no interest in anyone but you, which is why I can't seem to remember their names. Leave it to you to be so mean. Tell me this, then, why would the undead want to abduct Kafka? That I have no idea. I'm just glad you weren't the one abducted. Wow, we're here. Yo, Jeezer! I captured the target! Where is this place? How splendid that you've returned home, my son. To think you came back without going the long way. Quit pretending like we're family. It creeps me out. My, here you go again with that awful attitude. I almost forgot. Was that one lad I had interest in there? Let me just check. Okay. Sure wasn't. There wasn't even a scent. So long as we hand over this guy to that smoky Jeezer, I'll be able to go outside this forest, right? That's the impression I have been under, but do you really think everything will go according to that man's plan? How the hell should I know? It's your job to get to the bottom of those things, Jeezer. So it's true that Admiral Gordov has been in cahoots with the undead. It does appear, though, that this lion cub is indeed the Emperor of Obsidonia. His scent brings back memories of nostalgic times. You truly believe that I'm of the Obsidonian Imperial lineage? Of course I do. You may have no knowledge of this, but Obsidonia once launched an invasion in the past that made it all the way to my castle. Oh, whose reign did that happen? He was rather bold and resolute even for Obsidonia's standards. At the time, I was so into virgin maidens that I failed to welcome him as one of my servants. Nay, I ought to have welcomed him as family. How rude of me not to properly introduce myself. My name is Rotard, and I'm a rather old vampire. You have certainly inherited the Obsidonian Imperial bloodline, but you lack the true strength and backbone that defined past monarchs as far as I can tell. I suppose, though, times have changed, or perhaps this is the answer that time has produced. The living transcend the undead unnaturally from being the product of the endless chain of death and birth. The living have the fortune of dying before growing tired of the pleasures of this world, whilst wielding the foolishness needed to forge paths which on occasion go against their predecessors. The rumor about you being feeble appears to be true. Have you been properly eating? Kafka calmly takes a deep breath, being used to affronts such as this. The most important thing for him to do right now is preserve and survive. Persevere, I mean. I am under the impression that you captured me by the request of Admiral Gordov. Is that right? I am entirely unaware of what might entail this deal you've waged with Admiral Gordov, but it seems that there is time before I am to be handed over to him. That being said, shall we talk, given our Empire has long avoided having direct talks with you? Very well then, you seem far more enjoyable than Admiral Gordov. Let's see, what would be a topic of mutual interest? That's it! Allow me to ask your opinion on the Shadow King of Gluttony. Huh? Our Empire waged invasions after being motivated by the blessings incurred by relics extracted from the lair where the Shadow King of Gluttony is in slumber. The results of this is evident today. Our empire fell into depravity from the inside of its own accord, having nothing to do with any damage brought upon by the dark clouds of dusk. The prosperity and depravity brought about by the lair are two sides of the same coin. In my opinion, at least, further invasions will not bring back our former glory. How intelligent you as the current emperor to state having no interest in further expansion. I've been asked similar questions once before by my father. I heard from him how generations of emperors in Obsidonia would make their way to the lair to vow their obligation to participate in everlasting invasion efforts. I refuse to follow suit. Even now, as I find myself being the current emperor, I have yet to step foot inside that lair which lies within our capital. The day the dark clouds of dust disappeared was the day of Gluttony's awakening. What were you up to at that time? Perhaps it was due to the Shadow King of Gluttony, but I was suffering from horrible unease. To avoid clashes between other nations caused by our armed forces, which were itching to invade, I personally headed out to Dragon King Isle, where decisive battling would take place along with my retainer. There, I encountered the King of the Holy Republic of Amberdon. I was unsuccessful at the reconciliation, and lost due to sheer lack of strength. I was utterly defenseless. Well, that does sound like a plausible outcome. Despite letting my retainer escape, he was apprehended in our capital, which is why I've returned to these lands to rescue him myself. That sounds more like a love story between two youths gone awry rather than the affairs of an emperor, though it may hold its way as inspiration for a musical piece. You may very well be right about that. Even so, I have already received innumerable acts of love and support by so many on my way here. From the Federation of Pace Blanc, the Dragon King, and even a paladin from the foregone Principality of Noah. My wish is to put a complete end to Obsidonia's history as invader while I'm still its emperor. What a beautiful ambition that is, but that won't cut it to be tied with gluttony. That must mean Admiral Gordov is. That just seems far too impossible. So, why is it that you're conspiring with Admiral Gordov? There's no need for his cooperation if you're already this powerful. The reason being is that we have no affinity with the outside. Affinity? We are demons born of the lair here in the Forest of Death. It's fine enough that the lair itself was able to manifest itself above ground, but it is the very reason that we are as undead have transcended both life and death, which has left us finished as we are. No matter how many victories we have, all that does is expand the forest. I don't know what the younger crowd thinks about this, but I no longer have interest in that. Rogara still retains his human flesh, which is why he still seems to be ambitious, but he is sadly very much on the hunt for a lover himself like I am. Oh, shut up! What the hell matters? Don't lump us together. I had thought that insanity would continue rain down on the world evenly, severing such logic as yours, so long as the force of gluttony was still at play. Yet it is apparent that neither the new emperor had inherited gluttony's desire, nor has Admiral Gorda become his new vessel. That being so, where might that affinity have gone which would take me to the outside? Perhaps I really should write a letter to Dine. Wait, is there anyone who is close to you which holds a vendetta? The imperial family of Obsidonia's glorious history is due to gluttony, whose force is sure to entice those who starve for more. If I must say, that person would be my retainer, Helion. Isn't he just a typical soldier? Is it that he's that ambitious type? Wait, no. How could that be? No, can't be. Why was it that he was so strong? What was it that Helion desired and wished to fight back at? Oh, it seems like you know the answer to those questions. Hey, Cheeser! I can smell new guests arriving. They smell like his friends. I don't mind. Order the ghost to treat them with utmost hospitality. Well, that's what I can gather from rumor of your bond with him. My, this sure did help pass the time, although I'm sure things are about to become quite hectic. So this chapter is called Supper of Immortals, I think. Yeah, Supper of Immortals. Kafka! In the spacious red grand hall, countless candles float in the air, yet mysteriously not a single soul could be seen despite it feeling like there were countless present. Mixed in the aroma of roses was the distinct smell of iron-rich blood. This feudal-looking crimson-colored manor of the undead was filled with elegant decor as much as it was terrifying. Emperor Kafka, please let us know where you are. Hold on, there's something about these ghosts. They're not showing hostility towards us. Kun! Kafka was able to buy this time to make a run for it and reunite with Kun and the gang the moment they arrived. Despite orchestrating Kafka's apprehension and handover to Admiral Gorda, Vampire Rotar had seemingly lost interest in that plan. My, these guests have misplaced their manners. That's not too bad, I suppose. I smelled the wonderful aroma of young, beautiful flesh and blood. There's also a very powerful magical presence. It would appear that my intuition was correct. Rothart was stoked at the sight of Kun mingled among the gang at the entrance from upstairs. Most people are fascinated at the sight of a half-dragon, but it's exceptionally rare for someone to show hardly any interest in a full-fledged dragon like Borboros, who was standing right beside him. My apologies. The name is Rothart. I am the ancestral father of the undead. What is your name? Before even realizing it, Rothart had gracefully made his way right in front of Kun. Overawed by his presence, his crimson cloak flutters in the wind as he towers over them. Me? My name is Kun. Kun's preparedness to fight crumbled away just from gazing at this gentleman-like demeanor. The rest of the gang has even put up their arms. It appears that Rhaegar has caused a terrible inconvenience to your fine group of young lads. I deeply apologize for the trouble that has been caused. Rothart bends his massive body down to Kun by getting on one knee and kissing his fingertips. Hey, what gives? What a splendid aroma. Hey, stop it right there. If you bite him, there will be hell to pay. Oh ho, a frightful guest is among you. Young dragon, you must be none other than Barbaros' mate, am I right? No, I'm a vampire. What a cute jokester we have here. I would love to make that reality for you right now, removing all of that liar's blood out of you. Vampire Rothart, you've sure aged, haven't you? Say that I've settled down, won't you? You haven't changed at all, it seems. Are you acquaintances? And not quite that, to be precise. What is that supposed to be? Why can't you cherish the few friends you've had? I presume you've met with Atmos. That would certainly have some effect on the awakenings of the Shadow Kings of sinful desire. Ooh, Atmos. I wonder who Atmos is. I have no will to meet up with him. Furthermore, his huffing and puffing during his sleep ought to be the worst it's ever been right around now. I have no intention of disturbing him. When you say Atmos, are you referring to the dreamer of Circe? I believe so, according to our sacred texts. Barboros then glares at everyone, clearly displeased. No one could possibly control the dragon god if he were to get out of hand. We're leaving, Kun. Our job here is done. Wait, please don't say that. Take a spell. Or do you intend on getting past the forest as you are on the night of a full moon? Would that really be the wisest decision for you? Huh, you got a point. Lord Rotard is absolutely correct. We are in the innermost depths of the Forest of Death. I wish to ask him the way back to the Imperial capital. If he's been in communications with Admiral Gordov, then he should be able to help us out. Indeed, you're right. We've already lost track of the marker, so I am no longer able to lead the way. Then it's settled. I have already commanded my ghost to prepare your beds. Additionally, I have also prepared you all a fine dinner along with wine. Though it may be meager, I hope that it will help ease your fatigue. Oh ho! Foreign liquor! I'm definitely a sucker for alcohol. Oh, it smells so good! Is it some sort of meat? No, how could it be meat? This is the Forest of Death. What sort of meat would there be out there? I wonder if it's actually okay to eat. Well, this is called Curses and Blessing. During that night, the gang are staying at Rothardt's manor. Kun inadvertently wakes up. I feel sluggish. He has vague memory of dining with Rothardt at his banquet where he had tasted red wine. Though it had been forever since he had last slept in a bed, it actually felt extremely uncomfortable. Someone's coming! Just then, the door facing Kun's back opens, bringing along a chilling air while someone creeps into the room. Has Vampire Rothardt come to attack them? Although his mind is clear, his body feels weighted down and powerless, unable to even turn back and look. Wait there! Ooh! Whoa. So it's you who dares disturb my slumber. Kafka? What? Why were you trying to assassinate... Who? I don't know. Either boat? I really don't know. Dragon King Barboros, please hear out my request. This voice, is it Kafka's? The person who entered the room was no undead, but rather Kafka draped in a hood. Ooh. His body's trembling from peeking at Barboros' glare. A silver knife glistens in one of his hands. Kafka's tone grows serious as he confronts Barboros. Meanwhile, Kun decides to keep his back towards them as he pretends to be asleep. May you spare some of your blood for me. I must be victorious against Admiral Gordov, who remains in the Imperial capital, as well as the Shadow King of Gluttony, who dwells in our lair. The reason being is also that I may rescue Helium with certainty. If only I had more strength, this would have never happened. I reject your offer. As I had feared. Kafka braces himself by mustering all the strength he has into the hand in which he is holding the knife. I am the very Dragon King who has fought off countless heroes. That toy of yours doesn't even amount to a threat. Even your hands are shaking. You fool! Damn it! Do you really think your body can handle my blood? No hero other than Kun has ever survived. Are you going to go beg to Rothardt next? Forget it. He'll just become another undead servant. No, Kafka clenches his throat out of anxiety so tightly he can hardly breathe. Though he wished to argue back, he could not think of a comeback. After all, Barboros was spot on. I hate who I am. The fact that I don't look anything like my predecessors. The fact that I don't possess their military prowess. I've always been burdening Helion with my struggles without doing the same in return. How thoughtless. The empire's in decline. The palace is in ruins. And I can't even become a dragon. I hate all the absurdities that plague me. As he laments his weaknesses, his rage turns to tears which rolls down his still childish face. Kafka's cries keenly strike Kun right into the heart. He too had viewed himself as worthless in comparison to his older brother. Even now, as a half-dragon freak, all he really has is a useless single dragon wing. Oh, you're of intellect. What might those absurdities that plague you be? Have you not spoken with Rothart directly? The undead will ultimately never surpass the living. The living transcends the undead naturally from being the product of the endless chain of death and birth. Kafka was under the impression that there wasn't a single thing that he had transcended amidst his empire's history that has continued very much like the undead. Do you view your natural variation as a curse or as a blessing? As a blessing? That befitting black fur beneath the dark clouds of dusk, possessing intellect over military prowess, which may produce change in government. No matter how I look at you, you're inevitably the hero of intellect, which will resist the fate of doom placed upon your empire. How's that possible? How's that possibly true? There's just no way. You've had so many opportunities to make your determination. Huh? That I am so painfully aware of and can only vex about now. All I've done is avoid battling myself. Yet that gets to your head so bad that you'd point a tiny knife at me just to beg for my blood. You're so puny that I can't even muster the will to incinerate you. Dragon King Barboros, I beg you to somehow forgive me for my insolence. I will forget about this time, but you must leave this room before I have a change of heart. Fierce battle would likely ensue in the Imperial capital. I hope to be able to continue borrowing your strength. Once Kun becomes a full-fledged dragon, these sort of places will no longer be my problem. What happens after that will be for Kun to decide. Even so, I don't wish to face gluttony head-on. He would just engulf the whole world like how the former state of your empire once did. Ooh. I wish to rescue Helion by using all my strength. As Emperor to fight, true my resolution to do so may not have been so forthcoming. Do whatever the hell you want. Furthermore, I want to try believing in myself for a change. This all thanks to you, Dragon King. Is that so? Glad to hear. With that, I shall take my absence. Every little hassle gets in the way of our sleep. Who's next? Gluttony himself? Barboros throws Kun from his backside into his open arms in a tight embrace before, lovingly stroking Kun's single dragon wing. As for me, you're all I'll ever need. This chapter is called Satisfiers of Hunger. And we got Helion. The night that Kun and Kafka were staying at Rothart's manor, Helion, charged with kidnapping the Empire, was still being imprisoned in the royal dungeon. Helion has no way of knowing whether it was presently day or night, but that was all the same at this point. Helion undergoes daily torture in the depths of the dungeon, the pain and humiliation destroying his dignity and hastening his complete submission. Close your eyes and endure. Mind and soul calm and clean, Helion closes his eyes and single-mindedly endures the pain of the whip, daring not to budge as if his body were already dead. The unrelenting torture at last comes to a close. This remains how each day repeats itself for Helion. Damn it! Why does this always happen to me? You don't actually like the Emperor at all. You despise it all. The Emperor, the Empire, nay, the whole world. Am I wrong? Damn it! Every day he must choose between degradation and death. Even Helion's mighty spirit was being sapped of its strength. Having been forced to fight as a slave fighter since he reached the age of reason, all he ever knew was how to keep winning. But now he writes in a sea full of depravity. Helion has long been fed up with the chains of absurdities which have plagued him: class, era, lack of fortune. Kafka. There too was yet one other person suffering amid a whirlpool of absurdities. Yet whether to call him his emperor, his friend, or his lover remains uncertain. Kafka, why did you not fight together with me? Why was I even with Kafka in the first place? Oh. It smells of blood and semen here. How annoying. From the depths of the dark dungeon of despair appears an unexpected visitor. There's an overwhelming magical aura that pierces the skin which hardly matches the beautiful youthful tone of the mysterious voice. It appeared that the individual was not some lone imperial soldier or jailer, but rather a far more sinister entity. I am the Shadow King of Gluttony, Bizbub, of this castle's lair, nay, of this entire empire. Helion, are you not famished? Bizbub's abrupt question is a kick in the abdomen to Helion, who has hadn't a decent meal since being incarcerated. Yet that does not seem to be where the Shadow King is going with that question. I am speaking of a hunger that is not filled no matter how much you eat. I know you understand what I mean. Shadow King, what sort of affinity do you have with me? What, you ask? Why, I'm inviting you to dinner. To dine on the lion's flesh you've set aside to eat. Kafka? Me eat Kafka? Don't be absurd. That is what you've wanted. Yet once you do devour him, that's the end for you. You'll starve perpetually for all eternity until finally you'll become like the Obsidonia of yore and devour everything in your wake. At which point, you'll be able to slumber at long last with no need to leave any leftovers behind. Despite how preposterous Beelzebub's invitation sounded, there was something about it that struck a chord in Helion's heart. If he himself were the Emperor of Obsidonia, nothing like this would have ever happened. If he were an Emperor of Gluttony, he would have been surely able to swallow up any and all absurdities. Now then, Helion, allow me to share with you my fruit. A single apple falls onto the dungeon stone floor. The apple is red like a heart and perfectly ripe. Was this just an illusion due to sheer starvation? Helion picks up the apple, and without truly realizing it, he bites down hard and swallows a piece of its flesh. Ooh. An earthquake strikes below the royal palace of Obsidonia. Its tremor so strong it feels as if it might swallow up the entire castle. If the tremors persist, the stone walls of the dungeon will surely crumble. No matter how sturdy Helion may think he is, even he would not come out unscathed. All you've tasted thus far has been unsavory. This palace is particularly awful. The grime and mold, oh, and of course it's infested with corruption. Abandon it as soon as possible. Yeah, Admiral Gordov, this quake is too... Stay calm. I'm afraid I can't. This quake is too great. Please escape with your life. Oh no! The Imperial soldier becomes engulfed by treasure and collapsing pillars before Gordov's eyes. Hey, you there! Oh my god. This is the castle of Pandemonium, which I've sought. There's no doubt about it. Gluttony has come to me from whence he dwelled in our empire's lair. So I have been chosen after all. Kun and the gang are made aware of the strange phenomenon by the early morning megaquake, which could be felt all the way in the Forest of Death. They all rush to the rooftop of the manor to take a look. What on earth is that? That's the castle of Pandemonium. To think that Gluttony's lair would ever manifest itself above ground. Everyone grabs binoculars from Rothart, and they see dark clouds beyond the forest, and what look like a sinister castle within them. Did Gordov truly succeed in forming that bond? That still seems unfathomable to me. Judging from the location, that's where the royal palace of Obsidonia is. What's happening to the Imperial City? Oh my goodness, what means for Helion? We must hurry! Given the strong magic that it's emitting, I doubt that you get lost on the way there. Unfortunately, I am unable to leave these lands, despite being rather intrigued about what's going on there. Oh, young Emperor, honestly, I doubt that you could ever defeat gluttony. However, I shall support you from the shadows. I have no idea what might happen. I mean, this is just as surprising as the Dragon King finally finding his mate after being all alone for millennia. Hey! This is a sign that change might fall upon us as well. With that, I'll gamble all my all for the world that you, as Emperor, may bring about by rejecting gluttony. You may be feeble now, but just make sure you have enough blood in you. Got it. Oh, Dragon King, honestly, I am beyond envious of you. I can only imagine what method you must have done. Isn't it obvious? He made me fall for him. It's that simple. So were you able to extract his crystalline good? What would his Eidos be? I wonder. Enough about that. There's still a chance for you to make your way into Kun for that. Come over anytime when you grow tired of playing around with the living. Wait, what? You sure? Thanks, Roadheart. Who the hell would ever visit such a disturbing countryside as this? Emperor Kafka, I finished preparing for our departure. Let's make our way there. Very well, then. Ooh. What happens if we grit your teeth? Cutting off his senses via his tenacious military willpower to maintain his calm won't work in a situation like this. For there is something far more heinous than debility which is obstructing his concentration. A malignant sense of pleasure which is quickly gnawing at his mind and soul. So we are done looking through the stories from the Forest of Death. But I wonder what is happening next. What's gonna happen to Helion? Well, we are going to be looking that in the next episode. That is right. So, thank you so much for watching this episode of another Eidos of Dragon Vein R. I hope you enjoy, and I will see y'all whenever. Bye bye!